Okay, now we're on to the exam style questions. So we're going to use those skills that we talked about, and we're going to run through a few other things just to talk about exam technique. Focusing on this, Ikram, Luke and Noah share £120. Fine. Now, some people like to underline absolutely everything they come across. I don't necessarily believe in that. I like to underline the key bits of information. So Ikram gets 40% of the money. Other people might just underline that because they see a number. I wouldn't necessarily underline that. That's something I'm going to work with. 3/8 of the money goes to Luke, and the rest of the money is given to Noah. The thing I am going to underline, bizarrely, is the rest. So he's getting everything else. How much, what fraction, of the money does Noah receive? The strategy for me here is to work out how much money Noah receives. Noah receives N pounds for Noah, and then put it over 120, because that's the total amount of money. So that's what my strategy is going to be. What I'm going to do is lay it out really logically for the examiner. First thing, Ikram. That's an I, by the way, not a 1. Ikram. So I write an I circle it. This is what I'm going to work out. And I'm going to work out 40%. Very quickly, 100% is equal to £120. 10%. This is just how I like to lay these things out, because then I can really picture it. 10%, I'd get it by dividing 100% by 10. You probably know that you find 10% by dividing by 10, but this is just how I lay it out. So 12. And now we skip up to 40%. Again, quite straightforward. To get to, we multiply our 10% by 4. 12 times 4 is £48. Okay, so Ikram gets £48. That's logical, it makes sense. Ikram is there. Let's move on. Let's check out Luke. Because remember, Noah is going to get everything else. So if I know what Ikram gets, I know what Luke gets, I'll be able to work out what Noah gets pretty easily. 3/8 of 120. Remember what I said. That of means times. 3/8 times 120. Okay, so we're going to do 3/8 times 120. Remember, number divided by denominator times numerator. That's how we want to do this. Okay. In this particular question, it could be a calculator question. It could also not be. There's several ways of doing this. For me, 120 divided by 8. You might want to do. You could do 120 divided by 4, and then 1/8 would be half of that again. So that's quite easy. 120 divided by 8 is 15. That's how it is, because 120 divided by 4 is 30, and an eighth is half of that again. So 1/8 is 15. 120 divided by 8 is 15, times by 3 is 45. So Luke gets £45. No problem there. Luke gets £45. Moving on. One more then. Let's go to young Noah. Noah, he's going to get the rest. So he is getting whatever is left after we have £120 and we take away, notice I'm using brackets here, the 48 and the 45 added together. So I add Luke and Ikram's numbers together, 48 and 45, take that away from 120. So it's going to be 120 subtract 93, which means Noah is going to be getting £27. £27. Remember, what fraction of the money does Noah receive? What fraction? So it's not just does Noah get, how much does Noah get? He gets 27. It's what fraction. So he gets 27 out of 120. That's the fraction he receives. Now, they've not asked me to simplify it, so I actually don't have to. You only have to simplify when you're told to. If I needed to simplify, we could divide everything by 3, and we would get 9 out of 40. which is also fine. You do not need units either because it's a fraction. Pounds aren't necessary. So either of those answers are great. 3 marks available. Let's run through it. 1 mark for showing a process, either with Ikram or Luke. So let's just say it was for Ikram, showing our process to work it out. Another mark for subtracting the 2 values from 120 and getting towards that £27. And then 1 mark for actually writing it as a fraction. Remember, you don't have to simplify it unless they ask you to.